A Visit to Valhalla is a lengthy ballad related to Norse mythology, and it was included in A Bard Out of Time and Other Poems. The second edition of that is available for free at most ebook retailers. A Visit to Valhalla. Odin came to me one night to offer me a deal, an eight-legged pony ride to Valhalla for a meal. In exchange for such a treat, he didn't ask for much, just my worship given free for his godly touch. You might think it rather odd to see him standing there, but I'd studied him so long I didn't really care if what I saw was really there or just some crazy dream. And so I said to him, why not? To see what I could see. He nodded once with slight incline, then whistled loud and shrill. A cloudy portal opened up as he made good our deal. From the portal's writhing mass there stepped a wondrous beast, an eight-legged brackish steed, to take me to the feast. He whispered softly in its ear, it bobbed its lovely head, it came to nuzzle up to me. Climb inside, it said. I didn't understand at first what mighty Sleipnir meant, but looking closer I espied a sight I won't forget. The horse's back was not at all what I had thought to find. Inside it was a coffin stall. The headstone's name was mine. It was then I knew for sure that this was not a dream. Odin stood before my eyes in our reality. My steed's impatience came to bear. It nudged me with its nose. As I climbed inside its chest, the coffin lid slid closed. You do not know what terror is until you've been entombed inside a horse from ancient myth in unenlightened gloom. A darkness deeper than the sea collapsed about my form, but opened momentarily as if I'd been reborn. I found myself inside a room. The hearse was quick away, with proper clothes and tools to groom my beard of pepper gray. The mirror, too ornately made, showed me who I am, with helmet, shield, and unsheathed blade, a striking Viking man. I stood and stared in solitude as moments came and passed. Then Odin came into my room to see to my repast. He guided me through ancient halls and past fine tapestries, depicting battles, Viking ships, and cities under siege. He led me to an angled room, whose walls were far away, and seated me beside his throne, and told me not to stray. The floor was wide and empty, where was the Viking throng. A moment later Loki came, with merriment and song. Thor, the son of Odin, that store-bought hammerhead, is chasing in that dreadful boar, so we can all be fed. But just in case the boar might win, there is no need to fret, for Loki is a warrior too, though some of you forget. I've borrowed several odds and ends from friends and foe alike, in case I need to steal the scene and enter in the fight. There came a yell of utmost rage, as only gods might make. Then Thor thundered on the stage with clouds of lightning blaze. Loki chortled gleefully and danced about the floor. then tossed Thor's hammer playfully until there came the boar. The boar was snorting rabidly and bounced with malice due, but Thor fought on relentlessly as weapons broke in two. The god of thunder met his match without the slightest pause, and Loki, god of mischief, was surely not the cause. Do not blame your brother god for finding what you lost. And with those words he paused. Loki threw the hammer true. It sparkled in its arc, and landed firmly in Thor's hand, and soon it found its mark. The boar was struck between the eyes and staggered to its knees. A second blow was all it took to slay the massive beast. By the gods, I muttered. Then I chuckled deep. Those gods were all about me now, in Valhalla's keep. Loki turned to gaze on me, a mirthless, brutal stare. What courage that I still possessed deserted me right there. Then he smiled sweetly down, and honey from him oozed. "What's this?" He posed with earnest frown that slithered and confused. "A little man of living flesh, whose beating heart still bleeds, to visit Asgard for a time? Will Odin let him leave?" Odin's tone would brook no threat as he replied in kind, "He is my guest throughout the feast. Keep that close in mind." Loki's face was much alive, dancing with his thoughts. I wondered if he might defy the orders Odin wrought. And then he smiled fiendishly, and from his lips there came an offer to beguile me with sights I've never seen. "Shall we go to Jotunheim, where the giants are? There are mountains you can climb, but I doubt you'd get that far. The giants like it none at all when strangers come their way. And if by chance you fail to fall, they'll push you anyway." I realized that he spoke to me, and Odin didn't mind. I finally found a voice to use. It squawked, "I must decline." Loki seemed a bit put off, but not for very long. He found a seat of blackest stone and whistled private songs. The boar was butchered where it lay, and quickly set to roast. Flagons full of amber mead were brought in for a toast. But just before the flagons locked, there came into the hall another god I recognized, Tyr, the god of war. The legends say he lost his hand when Fenrir bit it off, but I never realized the bleeding never stopped. It dripped and oozed from open wound of ragged, shredded flesh, and left a trail of spattered sound with every godly step. He wore the wound with stoic pride and purest bravery. He came to sit at Odin's side with godlike majesty. The flagons raised in unison as Odin's voice rang out. A million voices echoed him with one resounding shout. I hadn't seen them saunter in with all these gods around. I listened to their festive mood as flagons were slammed down. I joined in the revelry and drank my fill of wine. I ate of many wondrous foods that helped to ease my mind. Thor and Odin spoke of things while Loki listened in. I didn't understand their words, they weren't for mortal men. Tyr, I noticed, seldom spoke, except when spoken to. He sat in silence like a stone, and nibbled at his food. Sometime in the midnight hour, I drank one flagon more, and tumbled from my hero's perch, and passed out on the floor. I woke in piercing darkness, drenched in sticky sweat, and found myself alone at home and in my double bed. I lay in panic for a time, but not for very long. The memories came creeping back like sluggish, drunken song. It took some time to sort them out. Was it real or just a dream? The image I could not deny was Odin's one-eyed gleam. It held within its omni stare a hope of things to come, a resurrection of the gods of mighty Viking men. I finally shrugged it all away. It must have been a dream. But all that night I lay awake beneath his one-eyed gleam. When the morning sun arose to race across the sky, a jaunty ray of sunlight chose to dance on Odin's eye. The statue seemed to match the gleam, and I could not deny that it was shining on the patch above its absent eye. There is another tidbit that I have yet to tell. My visit to Valhalla ended up in hell. I won't describe the things I saw, the grotesque mystery, but will repeat what Odin said, spoken just for me. This is where the liars go, and those unfit to wear the pride of Viking sword and shield and robust Viking beard. A promise made had best be kept until your dying day, or here is where you will be sent for eternity. Then he roughly brushed my brow. I fell down in a daze. I woke up next inside my room beneath that one-eyed gaze. I realized now what I had done and what I must now do. My worship to him has begun and always will be true. Death looms lightly on the battlefield. A raven flies, an ominous delight, a brilliant avian with blackest kiss, a harbinger of death upon this night, an endless wail no warrior can resist. A channel forms from shadows made of light, distorted by refracted, clenching fists. A spear is thrust, magnificent and bright. It shatters in the dank and frozen mist. A massive battle rages like a blight, a battle wound, a pus-encrusted cyst. The warriors never waver in their fight until the last has fallen in their midst. The raven feasts upon Valhalla's plain until the dawn when they rise up again. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, press the button for it and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your time.